Well, that's just it, right? And it was just part of what he did for it must have been 8-10 weeks leading up to the show. Every night he played like 2 or 3 hours of games, and he'd actually stop partway through, be like, "I'll be right back. I got to grab my meal." Right? Eat his meal, and then keep playing.
Yannicka brings him in a meal while he's playing it.
Yep. Yeah, salmon and potatoes. James has been killing the salmon and potatoes, man.
That's a good meal.
Yeah,
I
love salmon. Man.
Yeah,
it's so expensive. Is it really expensive in Canada now? Salmon?
You can buy it by the can. It's not too bad.
How much is the fresh stuff, like per kilo or pound?
So I bought a couple of kilos the other day, and it was like $16. So it might be like $8-10 a kilo kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Wow. It's roughly about that.
Ours is $40-something Australian, which is probably like $25 Canadian.
What? Holy
per
shit!
Kilo, yeah. And the salmon comes from Tasmania, which is where I'm from. So they have the salmon farms down here. So it's not even
farmed then.
It's farmed, and
I gotta have wild.
I'd rather wild too, but you don't really get it in Australia, unfortunately. But yeah, it's so expensive because I bought some the other day, and it was on special for $38 a kilo, and it's like normal price, like $46. I'm like, it's crazy.
So there's salmon swimming around in like well-dressed tuxedos, like, "Hello, sir, how are you?" And then on the other side of the ocean, there's just salmon swimming around with jeans and blue hair and earrings. Is that the wild salmon, is it?
Well, there's two different kinds too. There's sockeye, and then there's I forget the other name.
That's okay.
You can tell the difference if you taste it. It's like not even the same. It's like trout. I've had farmed trout, and it tastes like styrofoam. And then
have you had trout? Man. I had trout once, and it tasted like dirty, muddy fucking water, almost like mullet. You've had mullet and it tastes like dirty fucking river water.
Oh man, trout! I can go out back here, catch a trout. Oh, delicious.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah. I'll be able to go in my backyard and catch jewfish and flathead and prawns.
Trout's the only thing we got here. Trout, that's it. In brooks, you go to a river or go to a lake, you catch something else. But eels and trout, that's it.
Yeah, you go to the ocean. Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Rainbow trout as well? Rainbow and brown trout? Or
there's rainbow in the brooks, brown. And it's funny because brown trout are not native to here. They're actually called a German trout.
Is rainbow trout, is that commonly known as gay trans trout, or is it just...
no, I think LGBTQ most of them are straight.
Are they?
Yeah.
Well, you don't know. If they're rainbow trout, they could be, non-binary.
They don't even do it anyway. I think they just lay their eggs, and then the fish comes along and says, those eggs are turning me on.
They swim upriver and just shoot their sperm into the water, and the other trout swims into the sperm like swimming into fucking bukkake and gets the eggs impregnated.
Well, I suppose some of them would be gay, I guess, if they're doing that.
But
their cum shots are super slow. Just like,
I thought I saw a documentary now, and they just shoot their sperm or whatever the milky stuff is in the water, and then the female ones somehow get that, and it fertilizes the eggs. They don't actually have sex. I think it's just in the water, isn't it?
That's what it is.
They don't actually do it. They don't actually.
Yeah, it's just egg fertilization.
Fertilize the eggs.
And like I said, like fucking bukkake in the water, and they just swim into the bukkake and get fertilized.
It's nature, man. It's just Mother Nature.
It'd be like if a woman was laying there and 20 guys fucking shoot a load on a puss, which one soaks in and fucking fertilizes the egg?
Russian roulette.
Who's the dad? Maury Povich.
Just have all the men look totally different, and you'll know as soon as the baby's born.
Yes, Maury Povich.
Oh, the father is Jim.
Well, you remember Maury Povich? That one girl went on there. I felt so bad for her. When you get pregnant, there's this window of like a week or two. They can tell when you got pregnant. And she was up to guy number 16, and they still hadn't found the father. And I'm thinking, go girl. But
they never found out who that father was, did they?
No, I think after 19, they fucking quit. But it's like, she's like, I guess it doesn't matter. I'm thinking, how many guys did you fuck with in that 2-week period? I was like, were you in a gang and got jumped in or something? What the fuck was going on? Then they run off stage.
What is it?
What about when they do this and they put up a photo of the baby, they put up a photo of the father, and the woman, the one that had the kid and a mother would go, look at him, John, look at him. He looks just like you. Look at the eyes, look at the nose, look at this. And it's like, you are not the father. It's like, you people see what you want to fucking see.
He has 2 eyes and then you got, a nose. It has to be him.
Yeah, but everybody's sitting at home saying, I fucking knew it, man. I fucking, right? Shows were huge, man.
I was
entertained. Shows were huge.
I was entertained.
Who wasn't?
Just like Springer. We knew it was fake, but we liked it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I watch pro wrestling. Pro wrestling's fake, and watch that.
Yeah, you did it.
Cherry.
That was
like
a good show
back in the day.
All right,
he
look,
died,
we got another.
last year, didn't he? He died.
Jerry died, yeah.
Did he?
Did Jerry die?
Yeah, last year. Yeah.
No
was
way.
he married to a famous woman, or was that Maury Povich?
Maury was married to that. Was it Connie Chung or someone?
Connie Chung.
Yeah,
that's right.
Who's that? I know the name.
Connie Chung Smith.
She was like a reporter for, was she like 60 Minutes or just ABC, a big news reporter for
yeah.
Okay.
This is Connie Chung.
You probably
get made fun of her on Cheech and Chong, Up in Smoke.
Yeah.
This is Toyota Kawasaki, the woman reporter.
Chong used to come into the World Gym all the time and train.
Did he?
That's the long-haired one, right? Yeah, I heard he was straight into lifting weights because the other guy looked like he was in decent shape.
Really?
Chong would come in because his daughter would train a bit too.
And she was a movie star. She was the girl on Commando, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not a lot of people know that.
I mean, that was a good movie, wasn't it? And when you see the cardboard figures falling over when the explosions go off, it's like
he's holding the guy upside down. You can see the wire on his leg.
Or that Porsche gets smashed up, and then the next scene it's in perfect condition again.
You remember that? Yeah,
there was a lot of editing. A lot of editing was done poorly in that one.
Good movie though. I love 80s cheesy movies.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna stick a knife in you, Bennett. Remember Bennett?
You look like Freddie Mercury.
John, I'm gonna kill you, John. Come on, John.
Oh man, actually, there's one coming out, Lee, that you should go and see. It's called Last Breath. Have you heard of Last Breath?
I've heard of it. Yes, I did hear of it. Yeah, about the. Yes,
Woody Harrelson, man. It's about a commercial diver, a saturation diver that ended up stranded on the bottom of the ocean for much longer than he should have. And anyway, I don't want to give it all away, but Woody Harrelson is the diver.
He was just on Rogan, wasn't he?
Yeah,
it was.
I saw it. Yeah. I saw
him. He gave Rogan some weed. It was funny. He's like, "Oh, here's some of mine," and then I'm like,
"I'll just put it in my stash."
Yeah, I imagine Rogan gets given all the weed.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Did anyone watch that other movie? The preview looks okay. Warburg, that Flight Risk or whatever it is.
No.
New one? Preview looks really good. He's like, these people are catching a plane somewhere and he's the pilot, but he's got this weird hair. Pull up the preview. His hair's like he's bald up the front here. They got Warburg in the weirdest headpiece where he's just got the hair at the back and no hair on top. And I think as the plane's flying, they look over and notice he's not really the captain. The pilot of the plane. He killed the pilot, and I think the plane end up crashing. And looks like a pretty good action type Flight Risk. It's cool.
Oh, nice.
Mark Wahlberg, you said?
And
he's bald.
Nice.
He's got the Chevy Chase. The Chevy Chase.
Oh,
yeah.
I like Mark Wahlberg.
Mark, how did your video do with what was it, the bald bodybuilders, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, not well. I didn't think it was.
Okay.
I edited a Jay Cutler, a bald Jay Cutler.
I saw that.
Just
that's awesome.
They requested it. Whatever.
I thought it was a pretty good idea.
I was dumb enough to put it in the poll.
Typically, the ones in the poll do
It is
okay.
kind of interesting though, because there was no bald bodybuilders, and Sergio Oliva was the first. If you're only counting like Olympia guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was only one bald Mr. Olympia, is there? No, Dexter.
No, there was lots of bald Mr. Olympias.
Yeah,
Phil
Ronnie.
Was
yeah,
Roman.
Ramy was bald. Sean Roden was bald.
Brandon Curry. Brandon Curry was.
Curry was not bald. I had to check. I thought he was.
Yeah, but you go back to the 90s now. I think would have been Ronnie was probably one of the first bald ones, or Chris, or because you look back when even Kevin had hair and Sean Ray had hair. It looks funny when you see him with hair. Chris had hair. It's like,
Ronnie was the first one, like the first 90s guy. He came out bald in 94, I think.
Okay. There was actually a fair few. I bet you Brandon's going to be bald this weekend.
Levroni was bald in just 97, and then he grew his hair back. Then he shaved it one more time, and then he grew it back again.
Yeah,
when he came back, Ronnie grew his hair back?
Who? Ronnie,
when he grew his hair back, like 2000 and
what
was it? 2000 and I don't know what year it was. 2006. I was gonna say 5 or 6 or something. Yeah.
Remember Ronnie had that. Ronnie had like a flat top, like a Grace Jones type hairstyle.
And do you know what's funny? When he did his seminar down here in Tasmania, someone said, "Oh, would you ever grow back your, or can you grow back your hair?" And he goes, "I got as much chance of growing back my hair as like," it was like some ridiculous thing. And then it was like 1 to 2 years later, he had hair, and I'm like, "Well, obviously you can grow back your hair." Like, but he said it like he couldn't grow back his hair. I'm like, "Is that a transplant or what?" Because he made it act like he could never grow it back, which is
as much chance as growing my hair as I do getting a job with DEA.
Yeah. He worked in the police, so
yeah, he was a police dude.
Yeah, really though. Yeah, for a couple of Olympias, he was his first. What, 2, 3, something like that.
I couldn't see Ronnie chasing anyone though, could you? Ronnie
that was the thing. He couldn't chase after some criminal. He had to get a woman cop to run after, and the woman had to tackle the other woman cop had to run after him. Yeah, I can't run. I'm too big.
Ronnie's like, I'll bring the car around. I'll meet you around there.
I gotta get my meal.
He may not have been able to run anybody down, but if he got a hold of someone, that's the last guy I would want getting a hold of me. Imagine Ronnie coming up to you as a cop. Like, he must have just had the easiest job as a cop ever. Who the hell is going to mess with him? Here, arrest me now, please. Like,
well, the sad thing is, though, I wouldn't want to be that big, because if you were after a bad criminal, that criminal's going to look at Ronnie and go, "Oh, the only way to take him down is to shoot him." Like, I'm not going to fight him. So
everybody wants to fight the biggest guy in the room.
Exactly.
He was the biggest guy in every room.
I'd be more scared of like a guy 6'7" in good shape than a great big giant muscle man.
Yeah, like a Martin Ford.
I mean, a muscle man could beat me up just as easy, but the other guy could catch you if you run.
Yeah, I feel like I could evade Ronnie. You know, like you could just quickly run under his arm.
I can find the smallest hole that I can fit in, and then I can crawl in there. And I know he can't come in there.
They'd be like King Kong outside the cave trying to reach in and get you.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Don't read into that, people, where I said King Kong now.
Yeah.
No.
Casual Monday morning racism.
It's all above board. It's all above board. All right, listen. I got to get something on the go here, okay? I got to put out my final Arnold Classic predictions because
the final one.
Hey, this is it. This is it, okay? You get like do-overs for the first 10 weeks like everybody else, and then you have to write it in stone. That's what eventually it has to be written in stone. That's where we're at now.
Yeah, but there has to be if you release one like I did, I can't change it unless somebody got hurt, and nobody did. So
sure you can. Sure you can.
You just scared
Arnold Classic predictions. No, just put up another video. Arnold Classic predictions updated or something.
I'll wait till after the first call out.
I've changed my mind. I've changed my mind. Part 2.
On further inspection.
It'll work.
On further inspection and speaking with the judges and the people in the audience, I've decided to change my predictions at the last minute.
Well, mine have been pretty consistent. More or less. My top 3's been consistent anyway. 4th, 5th, and 6th, I'm still kind of scratching my head a little bit. It's tough.
It's hard.
4th, 5th, and 6th is hard, man. You know, how's Brandon going to show up? What's James? Is James going to nail it? You know, working with Stefan the first time around. He's looking sick now. Brandon is looking like he's at.
I wouldn't even count Clarita out of that top 6.
That's just it.
You can't.
I have Clarita like in my top 4.
Yeah.
Right?
I think.
And the thing is, like, Stefan sounds pretty big on Clarita, and I think we might see the best ever Clarita.
I think so.
We probably will.
I think we just
probably
did
will
see the best he was at the Prague. So
Akeem was looking good too. Akeem was looking good in one of his photos. I saw.
This is just it. This is just it. You can't count him out. Guy took what?
The names continue.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It really is. Like, this is a tough one. Like, it's not often that I'll get like stumped like this, you know, for a lineup. Like, usually I can pick out top 5 and I'm like, okay, I'm pretty good. I can't get past even the top 3. Like, I question periodically, you know. It's hard.
It's going to be close. Like I said, it's going to be close, and it's only going to take for someone to screw up a little bit, and someone's going to edge them out. So that's all it's going to take.
Pretty much everybody.
But who's going to screw up? So who's going to screw up? That's the question. Who's going to screw it up?
And no matter who you put in, like,
I don't think Samson
8,
will.
9.
Samson's pretty got it dialed and knows what he's doing. I think he won't screw it up. Andrew, I think he's probably learnt. So I'm hoping Andrew doesn't. So my predictions would be I'd like to see Samson first, Andrew second, and then third. I'd even go probably. I wouldn't even have Derek third, really. Who would I have? No, I actually prefer Sean Clarita over Derek if I was looking at his physique, or even
beat him before.
Okay,
beat him in 2020.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, like I said, there's nothing against Derek, but I'm not sure if I said it on John's, but just looking at Derek, he still looks great because we've seen it. He's won the Olympia, so he's good. He's won the Olympia, but then the last 2 showings, I think maybe the last one, I don't know. You know, when you just see someone, they're still good, but the other people are progressing that much quicker. It's almost like Derek's at a stale, just at this point where he's not really progressing and not going backwards. But I think because the others are moving on, he's going to get left behind unless he wows us with something that we've never seen before. But, you know, when just someone, I said, you can be training your guts off, you can be doing everything right, but the others are just that much better. They're still going past you. So as good as he is, I think he's going to be getting left in the dust a bit this year. That's what I predict.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's tough. It's tough because, like, Derek as well, like he really improved so much. And I think we got so used to the crazy improvements. And then last Olympia, I just think they didn't hit that peak right. And he had improvements, but because they pushed so low, so quick that the legs faded, but the upper body was a little bit bigger, the waist was maybe that little bit wider. And it was funny because, like, I look at his physique and I'm like, he does have more muscle in certain areas. He's in good condition, but it just didn't look the same as the year prior. The year prior was like he opened up into that front, relaxed in the front double, and you're like, holy shit. Yeah. True.
And Hattie was sharper too, because Hattie was big in 2023, but I don't think he was as sharp from the front.
Like when Derek guest posed at Detroit that time and he came in big, he had that wow factor. Everyone was like, wow. Then
it was the first time we seen him.
Pittsburgh.
And
Pittsburgh,
the first
changed everything. Changed everything.
When he won the Olympia, he had like a bit of a wow factor when he won that Olympia with his back. But I said, I'm not sure whether it's just Samson, Andrew, and all these other people. I don't know. They're just as good as Derek looks. He doesn't jump out at me like the others do. He doesn't really have that wow type. That looks incredibly, like, he looks good, but I'm not like mesmerized as in shock if I look at him. You know what I mean?
Hey, Lee, were you mesmerized the year he got second and then when he won the Olympia, but not so much just for last Olympia, or was it sort of all of them?
I think was it the first one he won when his back was really good. I think when he looked his best and that. But yeah, but to me, I don't know. It's like to me, it's like if I see a Mr. Olympia, I'm not saying Derek's attainable, but when you see someone like Ronnie or Phil Heath and them, these people look so cartoonish. It's almost like Dorian. You look at them, you're like, oh my God, you can never achieve that. That you got to be fucking in the special elite thing for that. Whereas Derek's a good bodybuilder, but I don't get that same like unbelievable out of this world thing when you look at him. It's almost
like the look of the muscle.
Did that happen? Yeah, it's like, you know.
Like Samson's muscle starting to look like that now. I've noticed in his like recent just training. I'm like, oh, that muscle almost looks sore. It's like hanging. Like you had that lead with like your arms, especially. Like you mentioned, there's a few guys that have that, and I know what you mean. Like Derek doesn't have that. Like you don't see Derek's arm and it's like hanging and like gnarly and hard and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
it's more
he looks great. Like I said, he looks great, but Yeah, he looks great. But to me, when I see Mr. Olympia, like you said, when I saw Dorian or those type of people, it's like you almost just want to look at it. It's almost like you can't believe what you're looking at because it just doesn't look real. Whereas Derek, as good as he looks real still and looks like a good bodybuilder. But I want bodybuilders that look like, oh my God, how the fuck can that ever happen? How can a human look like that?
And at that guest posing, well, that's what he did look like at that guest posing. When it was monstrous. It was like, even if you never saw Derek before, you never saw him in 212, nothing like that, he looked otherworldly. He looked inhuman. You know, I don't feel like I'm with you, Lee. I don't think that he's regained that since we really saw him at that guest posing. He was great. He was good when he won his first Olympia. He deserved it. Second one, I saw him starting to fall off just a little bit, although I do still think that he deserved the win overall. This time, I think there's too many X factors with Derek. I think Derek needs a break. I think Derek needs to take the time to, as funny as it is, the fact that he, you know, won the Olympia. I think that he only won the one. I think that
he won the second one. He placed second this first time.
Yeah, exactly. I think he needs a break to grow into the division. And like I said, that's strange to say about Mr. Olympia winner, but I think that speaks to the playing field as well. Now, given the playing field that we're about to see at the Arnold Classic, he's not going to beat Samson. He's not going to beat Andrew. And given the fact that he still has the X factors, I think, behind the fact that this is his first run with Chris Aceto, that's another really good point. Is it's not like he just finished working with somebody lesser than Chris Aceto. He had Hani Rambod in his corner for years. Who can do better? Maybe Chris Aceto, but maybe not, you know? Hani typically doesn't miss. So this is the first round with Chris. I think that's an X factor. And I think Derek just, honestly, I think he needs a break emotionally because he took the loss very hard. He jumped into this show very quickly, and I just think it's too much when it comes to the mental aspect. And that's pure just based on what I'm kind of perceiving from, you know, watching him in videos and stuff like that. I could be wrong on that, but is he going to be better than I thought? Yeah. But do I still think that he's going to take third? No, I still don't. I don't.
So you don't think that he can beat Andrew?
No.
You don't think he can, even though the last contest he beat him by a couple of positions.
Do you got him fourth?
Andrew took fifth.
No,
right?
I mean, yeah.
And he got third, so yeah, like Derek beat him because he was third and then versus fifth in the Olympia.
Martin got fourth.
Andrew Jacked is no guarantee.
Andrew and Derek are an apples and oranges, man. One guy's a little bit off. It doesn't matter. Derek's going to be more peeled from behind, period. And Andrew's going to be way more impressive from the front, no matter what.
Does the lineup help Andrew more? Like the fact that Samson is the top dog going into this, and does Andrew get close enough in the comparison where, because you're going to have a lot of like tall versus short, because you got Andrew and Samson, they're the tall guys. Then you got Derek, Carlos, Sean Clarita, William Bonac, Brandon Curry sort of in between, but slightly on the shorter side of that. So you've got Hollingshead's the taller, like. There's not many guys. I don't think there's many guys that are like 5'10" in this lineup. It's either like 5'6"
just the three of them.
6 foot. Yeah, which is really weird. So it's gonna look funny in the lineup. And we sort of saw it with the Arnold back in
2022
years ago,
or 23.
Yeah, when you had Samson, Andrew Jacked, Big Ramy, and then you had Sean Clarita, and then you had Nick Walker.
Bonac was there too. Nick Walker was there.
Bonac. Yeah, exactly. So you had that tall versus short, and it's weird that there's not many guys, because back in the day, like we used to see a lot of guys very similar sort of like heights generally. Like you had obviously like you, Lee, Sean Ray, and those guys battling, like, you know, were the giant killers back then. But it seemed like you only had a couple of guys that were sort of like the giant killers, and everyone else just had to be big because of the stature or whatever. But I find it so hard to compare Sean Clarita at his height versus anyone else. When people do comparisons online and stuff, I'm like, it is so difficult for me to judge with that, like with a 1 foot height discrepancy. For me, I'm like, it's like difficult. Like
worse
honestly,
in a lineup,
like even,
too.
Yeah, it's just
one-on-one. You can kind of say, well, but if you put them in a lineup, it's like good luck.
So difficult. Yeah, so difficult about height. Yeah. Lee, do you think that like Sean Clarita should be judged purely like how do you see it? Because I see like
without his
Sean
height
Clarita
being
versus like
a
James
detriment. Without
Well,
the height
should it
consideration.
not be
when I look at him before in the lineup, I just look at him like I would judge anyone else. Yes, he's shorter. Yes, he gets outweighed like I used to, 50 pounds or more. But I just look at the physiques and go, okay, let's start picking flaws. And sometimes when you look at Sean when he's on, he's got very little flaws to him. It's like, he looks like a smaller version of fucking Ronnie Coleman when he's in shape. So if you're looking at muscle belly, symmetry, proportions, and all that, Sean wins and beats a lot of those guys. Yes, some of those might be bigger, might have a bigger back, but they might have crappy hamstrings, no calves, and not as conditioned. So I think when it comes to judging, Sean, they actually need to judge by the guidelines and not go, oh, he's a shorter bodybuilder, these are taller bodybuilders are better. No, judge on the criteria you got and you meant to judge on, and Sean beats a lot of those guys every day if they judge on that.
Yeah, because I mean, you mentioned like the 50, 60 pounds, it could be a difference, but like for Sean Clarita versus Samson, it's like 110, 120 pounds, probably 120.
But I don't think you're going to notice this. Even like when he beat Regan and Sergio.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he was shorter, but yet when he stood there, he didn't look out of place because he's, like I said, he's so thickly muscled on what he has. He doesn't look out of place. So standing beside Samson, he's going to look like a miniature version of Samson also because he's got the shoulders, he's got the arms, he's got the back and that. So, it's almost like back in the day where you had Lee Haney and Lee Labrada and that sort of thing. So, and I think Labrada was only like 180 odd pounds, high 180.
He was not very heavy.
True.
Yeah. I think the show helps a lot for what, regarding the thing you said about Andrew and the lineup helping him. I think the show itself helps because it's the Arnold Classic, and we all know that the aesthetics are more favored. I think it's a more favorable stage for Andrew in that sense as well, which is why I think he'll take second. Lee, based on what you're saying about Sean taking third, though, I think you're right. If they went by bodybuilding criteria, then the height shouldn't matter. Unless you consider the fact that genetics plays a big part in bodybuilding, and really, technically, height is a genetic factor. So Sean is not you could see it as Sean not being as genetically gifted as the other athletes, even just based on height in bodybuilding, because more height equals more muscle mass, even though the way that Sean's muscle is put together is superior to, I agree, even Derek at this point by bodybuilding standards. Plus, given the history of how I think they're going to judge it and how I've seen them judge it, I don't know. I would like to see him beat Derek because I think he would deserve it, but I don't know if the judges will give it to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think if I got Derek standing beside Sean, I prefer Sean, as good as Derek's shape is, I prefer Sean's shape 100 times over standing side by side.
Really?
So, yeah, I'd always put Sean over Derek side by side. Like I said, Sean looks like a mini Ronnie. He has everything in the right places. His conditioning's good. Derek's good, but Derek's still, if I'm looking at them side by side, Derek looks a little bit blocky near Sean. And I hate how Derek looks like he just got off fucking riding the horse for 6 months, the way he fucking stands up.
Fuck, man.
I'm like, when I was competing, I don't know when it changed, but we were always told heels together. Every fucking quarter turn we had to do and that, we were always told, fellas, heels together, not trying to flare your legs out to give you an hour shape. If you stand there and you got a nice flare on your quads and you got a small waist, you don't need to over-exaggerate it by standing with your arms like this and then like your legs, like I said, you just got off a horse to try. It's like you're trying to make an X-frame you don't fucking have, and it looks fucking ridiculous.
It does. I hate the horse ride.
Branch Warren hold his arms out that straight.
Branch Warren was a fucking monster.
I hate the arms when they're like
Beirut to Benny. Beirut to Benny. You can put a level across his arm.
Yeah,
it's too far. It's too far.
I agree that. A lot of times, too, they tell us in the quarter turns, heels together, hands by your side. Like, sometimes even when you turn side on, people try to put their arm up here and push their chest out and that. Yep. We were told hands by your side, heels together. There's no cheating involved. Everyone had to do that. But that's the only way you can judge people. It's almost like everyone puts a little twist on their double bicep or their side chest and that. But I think when they call for a double bicep, everyone should have to do it exactly the same, whether it's just for 5-10 seconds. And then if you want to put a twist on it, do it. But if we're going to judge everyone in the same pose, everyone has to do the same pose exactly.
Yep.
Impossible to judge a crab and a hands clap.
On hip.
I think they should do two of them. Do both and judge both. You can't.
It's like side tricep. Some do a tricep here, and some twist it more, and some put the leg back.
Tyler said you can't do that anymore.
Well, you can't do that anymore. Yeah, it was after the 2023 Texas Pro. Yeah, Tyler said that's it. No more of that. It's a side tricep, not a front tricep. And Andrew Jack was famous. Sure, it does. Of course.
Two front poses, two side poses, two back, and then the abs and thigh and most muscular, two more front poses. But you know what I mean. You got to have two side.
Andrew Jack was famous for the front tricep. He had to change that around. But I think that's actually same thing, right? Sean didn't have to deal with it though. But Andrew actually changed his front double as well. He was hitting traditional front double biceps, especially at that 2024 Texas Pro, and it was actually pretty good. It was actually pretty good. So he does do his own twist on it, and he's probably one of the very few that I like because he just is he's an anomaly in bodybuilding when it comes to that. He pulls it off. But yeah, I think it should be shot for shot, pose for pose. These alternate types of poses, I mean, you should be marked down for it, if anything. Yeah.
Well, as long as you're hitting the right one, and then if you want to do your twist, throw your little spice on top if you want.
Sure. And the posing round is judged at the Arnold, if I'm not mistaken. Isn't that right?
Really? I thought it was just for the award, like if you win your best routine.
Best pose. Well, best pose.
It was meant to be judged, wasn't it?
You get some money too.
10 grand.
But they were judging. They changed it just for the Arnold Classics where it was judged. There was a separate round for posing on the scorecard. But I've noticed it was either on just for the last scorecard or one prior, that round was gone. Like it was completely gone. And the thing that I find really funny at the moment is the inconsistencies between show to show on the scorecards, because some classic physique shows, they judge prejudging and finals. Then other ones, they say, oh, yeah, we just did one score for it.
Yeah.
I'm like,
212, same thing.
Like, what pisses me off is like, how the fuck, like, because these competitors are coming in and they're going, okay, well, we want to nail it at both. And then if they just judge for prejudging, like as an athlete, I'd be pissed off. And the same thing with the posing as well. A lot of the athletes don't even know if the posing round is judged as a round properly in the Arnold Classic right now. And I don't think it is, but no one said anything on it. Like it's just.
I know Bob was saying on the Jay Cutler show, wasn't he, talking about even getting rid of, to save time or whatever, the judging, get rid of the single where they just bring you out singly to pose? Because
he did say that.
Why just bring a single person out to do their compulsories when, okay, you see what they look like, but you can't really judge them until you put them beside other people. So just go straight into the comparisons when you're pumped up and you're ready to go. Just go straight into comparisons. You're gonna see the people anyway. You don't need to see every person by himself, because then you go, okay, he looks great, but now you got to compare him, and that's when the judging starts, when you start comparing them. So
realistically,
yeah. I suppose it's just to get an idea of the overall how they look, but it is so much easier to judge them.
But I'm sure everyone's seen that for the last few weeks on Instagram leading up. We know how they look, so fuck it, just get straight into the judging.
Well, bikini and stuff, it takes so long. I think it takes just as long, if not longer, because of the way they do their turns.
Long too. Like, got to walk, the way they strut across the stage and strut back with their legs going.
Oh, they do the Ric Flair walk.
Yeah.
It's like, Jesus.
And the thing is, if it's like the thing that I actually really liked that Cutler cast with Bob, because they touched on quite a few interesting topics that made me sort of think about how they run the Olympia and things like that. So I actually really, really liked that one, because it was primarily like bodybuilding talk and there's some cool stories in there. But yeah, it made me think how they do the Olympia and how they even other stuff as well. How he's mentioning how, Jay and Bob and Matt were mentioning how they do meet the Olympians the night before, and then they expect these guys to be their best at night, but you've still got the athletes meeting in the morning. It's like, how are they meant to actually adjust their sleep schedule or anything to look their best? And Bob and Jay said they'd be at least 25% better if they held the prejudging on the Saturday afternoon and then had the finals on Saturday night, and then on Friday night.
back to a one-day show. It's the best way because 2 days is bullshit. They drag it on. And back in Wayne's day, we had to do the press conference. We had to do the meet the Olympians. But then there was also used to be a VIP dinner the night before the show where the athletes had to attend or would get suspended because the VIP people paid. And so we had to go in suits and sit there and watch people eat like proper food. And if people are like, Lee, a lot of bodybuilders don't look happy. I'm like, well, it's the night before the big fucking show. We should be resting in our room, putting tan on, and we've got to stand here and be happy watching all you people fucking eat. It's like
that's crazy to me. That's crazy.
Just thinking about it. I could just imagine.
How many years did that go on for?
Quite a few.
Really?
And if you've competed as well, you know how shit you feel. Like sometimes the night before a show, and plus you got tan on.
The worst.
Oh, I couldn't imagine.
Mentally, that's all you're stressing about the show. How you going to look? Or how you going to eat? When to cut your water? When to do this? And while that's going on in your head, you're trying to be social, talking to people while they're eating pizza and fucking everything else, and you're like, oh fuck, this is bullshit. It's like,
that's crazy to me.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Hey man, you getting dessert with that pizza? Like
exactly.
What an arsehole.
Why isn't anyone happy? I don't know why.
Because I'm not eating that fucking pizza. Insane. Like, give me a break.
The quality of the bodybuilders suffer at no fault of their own. At no fault of their own.
Yep.
Even the Arnold.
First and foremost, you know, how are you going to have these guys presented at their best of their abilities?
Well, the Arnold starts at 7 p.m. itself. The Arnold is going to start at 7.
Even Bob said it was like, he's not going to lose any money if you have the other shows on the Friday, the Classic and the bikinis and all that. And just because, like you said, face it, they still come, and the men's open is still the draw card when it comes to the Olympia and stuff like that. Yes, the Classic's good and that, but the Mr. Olympia is still going to be sold out on the Saturday. But I don't know why they broke it up, because I just don't believe either you should have a chance to fix up something you fucked up. The day of the show is Saturday, prejudging Saturday, final Saturday. I hate when someone comes in prejudging Friday night and they're a little bit off, but then they go back and they go, hey, we've got 24 hours to fix this. I'm like, fuck it. No, that's not fair. If somebody hit it on the day and they're deserving of it, they should be Mr. Olympia that day, not give someone 24 hours to fucking overtake them and stuff. It doesn't happen in any other sport unless it's like a test cricket match that goes on for fucking days. But you're not going to have the heavyweight title of the world and they go 12 rounds, but after 6, okay, go back to your hotel rooms now. We'll finish the other 6 rounds tomorrow. It's like,
over
and the other thing is, I used to think like, look, I get it 100%. Yeah, probably 2 days, like that's never going to change. But the way it was presented was the fact that, yeah, you've got Classic in those classes, Classic 212, stuff like that, that can carry a Friday night.
Yeah,
exactly.
They're both one-day shows, right?
Yeah.
Morning and then at night. Right. So just do them Friday. People love Classic. They're going to watch Classic.
You could split the Saturday up into 3 as well. You could have, some classes in the morning at the expo, then have the men's in the afternoon, and then have the finals at night. Like you can break it all up like that and keep the men stand alone as that prejudging, and that's all it is. So we can take as long as we want. Add one division with it if you want to, like women's bodybuilding or something, but just have that so we can have it as a focus. And we've got enough to talk about, because I used to think like, I'm like, oh yeah, but I'm thinking selfishly as like a YouTuber and like the media side of it, like, oh yeah, we can talk about it for 24 hours leading up to the finals, but we've got enough to talk about with the Classic. There'll be the prejudging we can talk about, then we can talk about the finals, and then we're rolling in with the last day updates, how the guys looking that night, leading up to the Olympia. So there's so much to talk about now. With so many...
Very exciting too. If you sort of prejudging, say 1 p.m. on Saturday, and prejudging finishes in at say 3:30, then you've got that build up for the next 5 or 6 hours till the night show going. Who's going to bring it in tonight and walk away with the title
on their computers?
So much more excitement. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how they end up going with the Arnold, it being a little bit earlier than the Olympia. I don't know.
And also, it's East Coast versus West Coast, Kenson. So it's like for West Coast, it's so much worse. So guys going from East, and then they go on stage sometimes at 10:30 at night. That's like 1 something East Coast time. So
James from the UK, it's a total different time again.
It's middle of the night,
yeah.
Well, that's why these guys show up early, right? No, but that's part of it. They show up early, get climatized, and if you can't, well, you know what? That's just in the part of the prep. That's all that is, right?
Heidi Chupin, 2020. Just walked off the plane and
William Bonac, 2022. He only showed up 2 days before.
Yeah.
It affects their look too, because Hardy at that prejudging did not look good.
No, he didn't. He just walked off the plane, and then they took him right into the on stage. They painted him on the
right.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, food up on stage.
At least you haven't got time to stress out and sit there for days thinking how you're going to look. It's like straight in.
Yeah, that's true. You can't think about it. Yeah,
that's a UFC fighter there. What's his name there? He just took a fight the day before, and he wouldn't even have come close to beating this guy, and he beat him. As they said, well, he had no time to stress out over it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, look at Sergio Oliva Jr. Sergio Oliva Jr. when he was going to California, was it last year? He just basically was on the plane the day before when he was allowed to leave the UAE.
Oh yeah, for that accident.
To leave jail, then leave UAE. It's like,
and he showed up on stage, and he was a bag of water, right? And that's what happened.
What's his name?
That's the way it goes.
He went to the Olympia and he pooped the bed at the Olympia.
That could be anybody.
Which year?
No, he beat Tony O'Burton at the Cali.
Oh, Ross Flanagan.
Oh, Ross Flanagan. Yeah. Yes.
Well, ate another show.
He ate one too many edibles. He ate a couple of edibles. He couldn't. I can't do it, man. I can't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, he got a DNF.
Existential crisis. I'd love it if they listed what it was.
Poor guy.
DNF. Existential crisis.
I did that last night with my oil before bed, the THC oil. It has like eyedropper in the bottle. It's in the corner. I'm trying to get it out as much as I can. I'm like, how much is that? I'm like, I'll just drink it. So I'm like, oh, was that more than a mil? Because I only meant to have like a mil. I'm like, maybe it's a bit less. So I got the new bottle. I took half another mil out of the new bottle. I went to bed. I'm just like, woke up like 2 hours later. I'm laying there and the bed's moving. I'm like, I don't feel good. But now I'm getting that anxiety stage where I feel like I'm going to die now. I'm going to die. That's it. Yeah. And I'm laying there thinking everything feels like it's slowing down. I'm like, is my heart getting slow? Is this it? Is the room going to get dark now? And then my cat come over to me. I just watched one of these YouTube videos where that cat predicted like over 100 deaths. This cat was in an old person's home. Did you hear that story? It's a famous cat. And it would go into people's rooms. And when it went into their room and laid on their bed and that, the person passed away within 1 or 2 hours. But the cat was 100% accurate every time. The cat went into a room and hopped. It's like one of those social cats. But yet if it came in on your bed, I'd be thinking, fuck, get out of here. So,
is that the one you've got, Lee?
What's that? No, it's like chocolate.
No, it's the 25.
No, mine's a different. Mine's from Dispense, but similar to that, yeah. In another bottle called From Dispense. Yeah, so my cat last night was making this weird noise, going, meow. He's sitting beside me on the bed, and he gets on my pillow and lays on me. I'm like, get off, fucker. You're not bringing me to death, curse. So I'm kicking my cat off the bed every time they come up. I was like, what are you doing? I said, that fucking video where the cat was predicting the deaths of people. Now the fucking cat's on me. So I'm kicking the cat off me all night, going, fuck off.
Yeah, it knows something.
Yes, it was. Yeah. That's some anxiety's kicking in. I'm like, go away, cat.
Now you know your limit anyway. Whatever you did, cut it in like fourths and do a fourth of that. And you're probably good.
Sometimes I can have the oil and within 30, 40 minutes it kicks in. Other times, whether it's just because I've got food in my stomach or different coating on my stomach, that sometimes it can be an hour and a half and I'm like, I'm not really feeling anything. So maybe I'll get a little bit more. Then I take a little bit more. Then it's like, oh, too much.
Yeah, for some reason with the THC oil for me, it for whatever reason, like THC, any of that sort of stuff takes a lifetime to kick in for me. It doesn't matter. It doesn't seem to matter when I take it. And then I just feel it in my eyes first. It's just like my eyes will feel
like really heavy, like you got to shut them, like you can't keep them open. You're like going,
Yeah. I remember when I was dating someone and I like her parents would come over every Monday night, I think it was. And it was like always like talking for age and stuff like that. And they were fine. But I'm like, sometimes I just want to have a little bit of THC oil just to get through. You know what I mean? So
how many of these
once I did something. I went a bit too far and I just felt my eyes just go blaze looking like I just felt like that was red. So I went to the toilet and I'm trying to find my clear eyes and I'm trying because it looked bad. You know,
you find it hard to read though. I find if I had like that little bit too much, anything where I'm trying to read, it's just so fucking blurry. Like my eyes can't focus on anything. I'm like, I won't even look at Instagram. I'm like, I can't even fucking read what it is. I'm like, not even going to try.
Yeah. I haven't done my oil in a little bit because I ran out, but I just did an appointment the other day, and it's funny because, Lee, do you change doctors with yours or no?
No, mine just comes every 30 days in the mail.
Oh, really? So, yeah, if I want a different script, because like every time I go through a different doctor, like if one of them's booked out or whatever, I get a new one. But then I say, oh, yeah, I want this and stuff. And then they just don't prescribe my old stuff. So this time I'm like, I want this oil, this flour, all this stuff. And sometimes you get cool doctors, and sometimes you just get like arseholes that are like, oh, no, they're cracking down on us now. We can only do this much, and I'm only going to prescribe you this. But the last one I got was cool. So, yeah, I'm gonna stick with this current doctor. He seems pretty chill. And he's like, anything else you want? And I was like, that's fine.
Then Xavier just goes to my wife's shop for vapes.
No, never had one before in my life. I don't know what you're talking about.
Can't have vape Tasmania. Then he didn't realise how cheap they were that my wife sold them for that price. He's like, what? That was the cheapest that I've ever seen them in my life. So I'm like, that's crazy. But yeah.
And you can just grow your own here, you know. You're allowed 4 plants. That's it.
Weed, yeah.
4. Yeah. I remember first year everybody was growing like 9 or 10. I grow 1.
Yours is huge. Yours is huge.
I have stuff in the freezer from 3 years old.
Can they be like any height when they say 4? Did they have to be a certain height? Can they be?
That's why it's so stupid.
There's no restrictions.
I put a lot of effort into 1, and I can get more off 1 than some idiot down the road gets 6 or 7 growing, and it's supposed to be illegal. And it's like, well, can I go to a store right now and buy as much as I want? Yeah. So I'm not allowed to grow as much as I want, but I'm allowed to go buy as much as I want.
Yep.
The laws are so dumb.
Realize, this is just so idiotic.
In the ACT league, do you know how it's legal there?
Well, the ACT, that's where all the politicians are. Of course, it's fucking legal. You can have fucking cracker night there. We can't, like Guy Fawkes night, cracker night. We spend in every other state, but Canberra, where the politicians are, you can have that too there. So it's like, it's funny where the politicians are. They got different laws in that one fucking state.
Yeah, and it's a tiny one too. Like the ACT's like this sort of map.
Yeah, the elite.
It's so funny. You're allowed to go to this law.
Within the state, isn't it? Because it's got New South Wales and ACT's in. It's almost like the Vatican inside fucking Rome. It's like its own little
country,
its own little thing. Yeah.
And you're allowed to grow 2 plants, but as well, like someone put up a thing like pointing out the absurdity of it. It's like you're not allowed to order in any of the seeds. You're not allowed to do all these things to actually grow the plants initially because that's illegal. But you're allowed to grow 2 plants. But to actually grow them, like you can't give a plant to someone else. It's like all these bullshit laws. I'm like, so you have to do something illegal to be able to do the legal thing of growing the plants. So that makes sense.
When they see you growing the plant, they're like, where'd you get the seeds from, huh? How'd you get the seeds?
I swear it's just a thing to set people up. It's like, well, how'd you get the seeds for that? It's like, well, how did anyone?
God made it.
Yeah, a bird did a poo.
Yeah, exactly.
I use the same seeds because you'll find 1 seed. If you have a big enough plant, you'll find 1 seed in it. And if it's not, if there's too many, that means it's a hermaphrodite, and that's all you're going to get.
It's no good to you anyway.
Another hermaphrodite. But if you get 1 seed out of a great big giant, you guys probably seen that picture I posted on Instagram. Me standing beside that tree. Well, it's taller than I got maybe 1 or 2 out of that. Now those 1 or 2 seeds will grow the exact same tree. Yeah, and I've been doing that for 5-6 years, however long it's been legal. I didn't dare do that when it was illegal.
No,
of course not. You wouldn't.
Certainly not. Yeah. No, certainly not. No, now you can have it in your front yard and nobody can say it. People do. You'll be driving past people's houses. No,
I'll do that as a flex.
I could grow it.
This is just it, right?
I don't go around public blasting doobies like some idiots do.
No. But like you'll be driving down the streets here, and it'd be nothing for people that have them, indoors at night when it starts getting cooler, and then outdoors in the day. So they'll just put it on their front steps, right? And then nighttime comes around, and they'll put it back in. It's not uncommon. Yeah, no, it's not.
as you look out your window, people are out there picking your leaves and shit off your tree.
You're picking them off. Yeah.
Yeah, pick the leaves. Thanks for
you come out, your tree's bare. It's just the fucking stick in the pot.
Hey, Lee, when I was
the deer will eat them. Didn't I send you that picture last year, Ken?
Yes. Yep.
Freaking deer. It came back. It bounced back even stronger and bigger. That's why that one grew so big.
Nice.
Nice. Well, I should have tied it off. But the freaking deer out there.
The deer are walking around high as a kite.
How many of these guys? How many of these guys going into a show like the Arnold do you think are like seriously using THC? I always wondered that. You
70%.
think? Yeah.
50%.
Really?
Yeah, I'd say a few less do it now than maybe a couple of years ago. But yeah, like you'd be surprised. I think like some of the guys that are super clean cut and like I've heard, heard about.
Derek ain't blasting no doobies.
He used to.
No.
Derek used to.
He might bless them first and pray over them, and then say it's a gift from God, and then you can go smoke it.
Yeah.
Well,
no, Derek.
God made it. God made marijuana, right?
My wife. Hold on, I'll be back. Hold on.
All right. No, that was a whole thing with Derek. A few years ago, is he actually had to like do a whole. I don't remember who it was with. Maybe it was with Hani. Don't quote me on that. But he came out and he was like, "Yeah, I have an addiction, and it's the weed, and I have to stop." And it was kind of a thing like for him.
Yeah,
and everybody, there was no react.
Yeah,
but there was no reaction from the bodybuilding world. Everyone was like, "Yeah, right on." Like,
but there was a guy back in the day, Dave Draper. If you guys know who Dave Draper is,
yep.
And
the blonde, is he the blonde bomber or blonde bombshell or something?
He was drinking and smoking weed, but you kind of put the weed will take the rap for it, right? I'm sure the weed was doing less harm than the alcohol, but he was doing both. Of course, you can get addicted to cheeseburgers. You eat too many cheeseburgers. I know a guy who drinks too much Pepsi.
You can.
He's probably going to die of diabetes.
Yeah. That's
I don't
not
uncommon. I don't think weed's uncommon at all in pro bodybuilding. I don't think so, because a lot of these guys are high strung as well. Like it just seems like a lot of bodybuilders are very high strung and they need to bring themselves down and chill out. Like you've got the guys like Sean Roden and Dexter Jackson that are just super chilled anyway, like personality wise. But then you've got other guys like even myself. I know I'm high strung. So like bringing myself down would be beneficial because you'd reduce cortisol, all that sort of stuff. And I don't know if I told Lee this, but like with Ross Flanagan and how Lee was saying, like, the anxiety kicks in and stuff like that sometimes when you have it. When I was up in Newcastle when I visited Lee, I don't know if I told Lee this, but because I can't smoke because I've got my prescription so I can travel with it and all that sort of stuff. So I can't smoke in my hotel. So I was like, I'm going to go down by the water down there and where the rocks are and my walkway is. So I jumped over that sort of like that block area and I just sat down on the rocks, but it was a bit windy. So I just lit a joint and was smoking that. But the smoke was like flowing up onto the walkway behind me and it was like sunset. So there's tons of people walking past. And then I had a full joint as well and I'm not used to that. So I was quite high. And then there's a party like up the road at that board. It's like a boardwalk that comes out and that was packed. It must have been an underage thing, like under 21 or something, like 18, 21, because there's so many kids on there. It was all packed. And then I think they started looking at me because they probably could smell it and the smoke was going up like where they were. So I felt like so many people know that I'm smoking weed here right now. So I sat down there for like over an hour until I chilled out enough and then was able to walk back. But yeah, being in public, like how Mark said before, like smoking in public, it's not always the most fun thing.
That's Xavier's plan. He smokes it near the young girls, blowing it their way. The girls are like, has he got pot? Wonder what else he has.
No, I was avoiding
reach into the $100 pocket.
I waited till it got pretty much dark and then I walked home because I'm like, my eyes are not looking good.
You got any eckies? Any MDMA? What else you got, sir?
I'm sure there's plenty of that going on there. It was crazy. I didn't realize how many people they could like there was hundreds and hundreds of people, like that boardwalk plus the upstairs, downstairs.
Queen Street Brewery there where they sit outside drinking on the pier bit.
Yeah.
Surprised more don't fall off in the water drunk because they're right on the pier.
Exactly. Like I actually was looking at that. I'm like, is there any even railing there or anything? Like it seemed like it was. Yeah, that's crazy because it was packed.
Alcohol related incidents.
Yeah. Broken backs because it's not deep enough, you know. But anyway,
actually, a guy rode onto those rocks because as the boardwalk goes this way, it turns and then it goes around. But you got all those the big fucking wooden things along the edges to stop you going over. But where the wood goes like that, he actually hit it with his bike, went over the handlebars and onto the rocks below. Too bad it wasn't high tide.
I was on the rocks.
High tide, you'd be all right.
The tide was coming in when I was down there, but crabs started to crawl up towards me. I was like, I need to fucking step back here. I'm too high for these crabs.
Can't handle it. Yeah.
I'm like, if one crawls on me, I'm going to freak.
Yeah. All right. Look, I still didn't. People are going to fucking snap. I still didn't get out my predictions. Okay. I only got 3 of them.
You tried.
We did exactly what everyone would expect. Okay.
Yeah.
Fourth place. I'm saying Derek in fourth. That's it. Derek, fourth place. I don't think you're going to not
third, right?
I'm staying strong on it. Yep.
What did Matt say you were smoking?
Crack. Matt said I was smoking crack.
Kids have been smoking crack.
Yeah. Matt said I was smoking crack. Well, we'll see. Fifth. Man, I don't know. Still, who do you go with?
You got 2 members in the top 10 of Olympia.
Fifth could be Bonnet, could be James, could be Brandon, could be fucking fifth. Like you said, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Those positions could go any fucking way.
No, but I gotta pick one.
I feel bad for whoever's going to land in 8th or 9th because they could still be phenomenal. You know.
What's Bonac? Bonac's been looking good too, hasn't he? I haven't really
seen
him.
Better. He's 7th in Olympia.
Yeah.
Most of
I don't know. I don't think Brandon's going to have the legs, and I don't think his legs are any better. And that's what's been holding him back since, he won the Olympia, basically. So
I think his legs are better.
The Arnold's, though, doesn't he?
Are they better?
Yeah, he's been focusing. He's been training them multiple times a week, I think. And I saw when he put out that update where he dropped his pants and then he turned to the side, his hamstring looked bigger than ever.
It looked good.
All cut out. And I was like, I don't know. And even his quads looked a bit bigger. And I was messaging with him. This is a while ago. I can't remember exactly what we said and stuff, but he's definitely putting a focus into it. And that's what he's putting on his YouTube channel too. He put a lot, almost all his training videos were legs for a while. And he's really focusing on it. So maybe that will help a bit.
With this lineup, he's going to need it.
Yes, he is. I just don't know.
I think he's going to be very conditioned. So it's
he is or he's not.
I think he will be. Yeah, I think we're going to see the hardest.
Again, he's going to need to be in this lineup.
Yeah,
he's going to need to bring his. I don't know, man.
So what does he take 5th?
He's still 9th in the Olympia.
Even lower than 5th. With the lineup,
maybe Derek will be 5th.
Oh,
they say he's praying twice a day.
I hope so, man. He's going to need it.
God's busy trying to work on the Ukraine deal with Trump at the moment, so the Arnold Classic's not on God's to-do list. So, Derek, you're on your own on this one, buddy.
He wants to do a thing where he lost at the Olympia, and now he will rise again.
Like a resurrection.
Right.
He's going to roll.
I mean, if you want to look at it that way, I guess
he's going to roll that stone away and.
Yeah, after he carves up,
that his routine
to move it. Yeah. Oh, fuck. Oh man,
Bob
could you
Band
imagine?
Props though. Bob Band.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he did.
Right.
No, I don't know. 5th for. I got a hard time putting Derek. I don't know, man.
Just because someone was Mr. Olympia doesn't give them cordon blanche for the rest of their life that they can't fuck up and come in shit. So I always say, but he was Mr. Olympia. I'm like, I don't care. They're still human. They can fuck up and someone can come in better. He was Mr. Olympia a couple of years ago. He's not Mr. Olympia now, so he's like anyone else. So he can get 5th like anyone else can get 5th. Derek can get 5th.
Was Olympia.
Okay, so if you think that he could take 5th, then who do you think can take 4th over him?
Brandon. Clarita.
Well, you think Clarita could take 3rd, yeah.
Yeah, I reckon Clarita could take over Derek's if it's judged on what it should be judged on and not judged on, like, sadly it does happen though. Even if Derek comes a little bit off, but he was Mr. Olympia. It shouldn't matter. This isn't Mr. Olympia. This is a whole new fucking contest. Judge him how he looks today, not that he was Mr. Olympia.
Yeah, but it does matter.
I think the only way that happens is if Derek is off, which is a possibility for sure. First time working with Aceto, like they haven't done a full off season, they haven't done much. It's the first prep, so it definitely could happen. The only issue I have is that they have similar strengths, like turning from the back. Like Clarita has that dense, thick back, but I still think Derek's overall structure will just be overwhelming on the back shots, and also Derek's legs from the back, he'll win it on that as well, because Sean, as phenomenal as his legs and how shredded they are, they're a little bit more straight up and down, especially from the back, than Derek's. But yeah,
my brother was a bit straight up and down, then looked like I got off a horse with fucking polio.
I do. I hate that, man. I hate the ride.
I don't hate the horse thing. I hate this more.
Come on.
And I hate the bad quarter turns like this.
The horse stance is horrible.
A lot of them.
I don't hate it. I don't know why.
It's like they're just terrible.
If it goes too far, yeah, but I'm like,
it's like
he goes too far.
Do the splits like Flex Wheeler.
I think Derek, if he brings it in like this much.
No,
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Man,
I think when he puts them close, they look slight. You think his legs are smaller? I think he shows his adductors more when he pulls them open. I think
when he stands out, when he does stand like that, he is showing more abductors, but his quads are being turned away from the crowd, and then his calves look shitty on that. His calves look shitty on that angle too, where it's like that. You see more fucking feet. All you see is his feet and inner, like you said, the inner part, and it just looks like
their feet should have to be at a certain angle.
It just looks shit.
If Derek shows up,
feet were like that, heels together, and your feet were just a little bit apart.
if Derek shows up and he's not riding the horse, I'll put him in third. I don't care what he looks like.
I just think if his legs were a tiny bit closer, then I'm happy with it. But like, I don't like. I'm just so used to. Because I used to teach posing. I would never get someone to do that, pose like that. But I definitely used to get people to like, okay, you need to bow, like someone who had slightly smaller legs, like you need to bow it out a little bit more. Because I just think that if Derek had his legs together,
it would look like this. Skinny bowed legs. The bowing doesn't make their legs look any better. To me, it just makes their legs look shittier, no matter how good your legs are.
But it makes the overall structure like a bit more like, you know? Because otherwise I think it'd be like a Y. It'd be like a Y.
I just took another shit.
It's
walk off with my fucking shit in my pants.
I'm the only one who doesn't hate the horse riding. I don't know why.
You know what he looks like? You know what he looks like? Looks like fucking Cartman bulked up from South Park. Stand there, man.
Beefcake. Yes.
Yeah, remember Cartman stood, he walks like that. That's how Derek looks on stage. Fucking got his legs out. Like I said, nothing against Derek, he's Mr. Olympia, but come on, if you're Mr. Olympia, come on. Those should be like, your posing should be on point and standing like that. I don't like when anyone does it, so it's not really just a picking on Derek, but because he's like noticed the most because who he is. But a lot of guys do it, and it just looks fucking terrible. I don't know.
When Ronnie hold his legs, feet like that, did look good. Kai Green used to do that, if you remember. Kai would hold his feet together.
Yeah. And their
did you like it when Ronnie put his feet together?
Yeah.
I did, because he had the quads to show off. He had the quads to show off. Yeah. If everybody had to do that, you would see that he did have the big quads.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can see that for sure. I just think that with his feet was together and he's like this, like, I'm like, if he just had him shoulder width, I feel like it would just look more comfortable. Like,
he did years later. He did, like in 2005. He actually
get Brandon standing with his heels together, feet to the front. Get Brandon like that, but then get Derek like that. I bet Brandon's quads front on with his heels together look better than Derek's if Derek puts his heels together.
Oh man,
yeah, but who cops more? Who cops more shit for their legs? Brandon does.
I know,
Brandon way more
because of the back. It's Brandon's
I prefer Brandon's glutes over Derek's, sir. I like Brandon's quads over Derek's.
Nobody gives Derek
Brandon's
quads.
Yeah, there's nobody that gives Derek a hard time about anything from the back. Not legs, not like nothing. Derek has one of the best back doubles in bodybuilding. Period.
The glutes are in, the hammies are hard. Like
everything. It's almost perfect, man. It's all he could use maybe a little bit more calves. Derek is going.
Calves are okay.
His calves are still. You really got to nitpick to go there, right? You really got to nitpick. Derek is going to win the back double, I think, if he shows up in condition. Yeah, I mean, yes, of course. So couldn't we all? Couldn't we all?
I'm intrigued to see if Samson can challenge Derek on the back double.
Yeah.
What's that?
I said not desktop. He's about 6 feet.
I sorry, my thing. Yeah,
he said you're taller than
legs
us.
apart. I need to put my legs apart.
No, okay. Look, Derek, 4th place. That's it. I'm locking that in. 5th place, man. I just don't want to say because I really don't know. I don't think that Brandon is going to take it, man. I just don't.
James, Hakeem.
Well, you didn't mention Clarita.
No, I didn't, and that's a problem too. That's a huge problem.
He's right on my wall.
I think you do got to put Sean in. Sean has placed well against bigger guys at the Arnold before, so I think any less than 5th is really tough, man.
I think the Arnold will reward his conditioning and shape too. So
me too.
Did he beat Curry, or did he beat Bonac in 2022 or 3 rather?
He did, but Bonac wasn't as good then. Bonac is much better now.
Yeah,
because he started working with Stefan.
But I think Sean's going to look better this time too. The best we've seen him. So
yeah,
and I sort of go around as well thinking like how Sean Clarita got beaten by Chris Bumstead in his last show, and I'm like,
it was close.
It was close, very
close, but it was Bumstead. Was good.
I just think where would Chris Bumstead that package place in the Olympia? I know it's like bodybuilding maths and it's more about matchups when you see it, but would C-Bum be 7th place in the Open Olympia with the look he brought to the last show? I'm not sure about that because you had Hunter, then you had.
I think he wouldn't have beat Martin because he didn't beat Martin.
Yeah, and Martin wasn't as good version. He's 4th, so I'm like,
would he beat Andrew Jack?
No.
That's why I've got Bonac and Curry over Clarita. But then I'm like, I had James contending with like Bonac and Curry in my mind a little bit. So I'm like, do I put Ben Hollingshead above Sean Clarita? But do I put Akeem? Because I'm really big on Akeem too. And I'm like, I've just chucked them in a random ass order, and I don't feel good about it at all.
I know.
Next week. Let's wait to Saturday next week before we make our predictions after prejudging.
Yeah. That'll be a bit easier. We'll still probably get it wrong because Akeem will jump like 5 places after prejudging.
Yeah,
Akeem is a sleeper. Akeem is a sleeper. So was James.
Akeem is not a sleeper, and James is not a sleeper. Everybody knows how good these guys are. And that's part of why it's so hard to place is because they're not sleepers. They're not anymore. They were. It's just not the case now. Akeem has proven himself. He's proven himself. Yeah, people do forget. You're right about that. People forget quite easily, I think. I mean, really, until these updates started coming out from Brandon, I didn't have him anywhere near the top 5, and now I have that consideration. I had him like 7th, 8th, maybe.
Is Arnold the first Arnold we've had 3 Olympians in the one lineup? Or I know the Olympia we've had 3 or 4, but is this the Arnold we've had 3 Olympians?
It's a good question.
Yeah, it is.
Derek Sampson and Brandon, 3 Mr. Olympians.
2020, there was a lot of Olympia champions in 2020.
And Sean for that matter.
Sean's a 212.
212 Olympia.
You count that for sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. Xavier, who do you got? Give me your top 3 anyway.
My top 3. Okay, so Samson in first. I think most people have that. I just think that he's going to put distance between him and the pack in this show. And I think that Samson is incredibly confident, and just like the conversations I've had with him, because the thing that I worry about is like he's become Mr. Olympia. He's never gone into a big show as a favorite. Like the pressure of that, I don't think he's feeling that at all from the way he speaks. I think that he's supremely confident without him saying it. I think he's just sort of like, just wait, we're going to bring something special. And when Samson's like that, I think that he brings crazy to the stage, and his mind is so much more relaxed even than the Olympia. So yeah, I've never heard Samson this confident, and he said what he said is basically like drive is still there, like at an all-time high, probably even more so. So I was wondering, because he's gone into that Olympia with a lot of adversity, and he was using that, taking it into the gym. I'm like, he's not going to have it this time, and I was a little bit worried, but I have almost no worries now. He flew to the freaking America in first class with like a layout bed and everything like that.
So I saw that. Yeah, so I saw that.
That's a bit easier than what James is flying, if he's flying class or not, but it's a lot easier for him than even people on the west coast of America, east coast, the west coast, sorry, flying 5 hours across. I'd rather be on that plane going 7 or 8 hours in first class than the rest. And yeah, I just think that he's going to put distance. I have Derek in second, but it is like 50-50 between Derek and Andrew for me. I just think that Derek didn't nail his peak at the last show. I don't know how it will go with Aceto versus Honey because they're different coaches. So we'll see with that. So I'm going to have Derek in second, Andrew in third. I'll go with my top 5. I'm going to have Brandon in fourth, just because I think we're going to see the best Brandon we've had in years, and he seems quite confident as well.
Second, he could beat Andrew and get second and fuck us all up.
He could. I think Brandon could be really good here, and he was 9th at the Olympia, and I think he's going to be dramatically better at this show. And Brandon started that Olympia prep not in the best position. And even Abdullah came out and said about it, oh, it's too small, blah, blah, and all this stuff at the start of the prep. It was not that long of a prep, and he's starting bigger from the Olympia. So I like Brandon for 4th, and then Bonac in 5th, and I think that'll be a battle. We'll see those guys battling it out, maybe on the outside of the first call out. Then I've got I was going to put Carlos in 6th, but oh man, I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to put James in 6th. I'm changing my mind. So I'm going to put James in 6th because I think we're going to see the best James in a while. Then I'm going to put I'm dropping Carlos down 2 spots. I feel like an asshole now. I'm going to put Clarita in 7th because I just think that he's going to jump people. Like he's going to, no matter what, be up in that top 7 sort of thing because he's just too impressive.
7.
Carlos in 8th. Carlos in 8th, I feel horrendous about. And then I feel just as bad about. So
he just unfollowed you.
Yeah. I love Carlos. I hope he wins the Olympia. Then I'll save myself. And then I've got Patrick Moore in 10th. I think we're going to see a pretty decent Patrick Moore, the best one I'm seeing.
Patrick Moore.
Yeah.
I forgot he was.
And then
he's going to be, I think he's foregoing the Arnold now, and he's going to the NGM for boxing.
I was like,
he's real calling.
Until you said that. And then Justin Rodriguez in 11th, no disrespect.
Yeah, and I really like Justin too. I do, but it's his track record really that you kind of have to go with lately. And you could say the same thing about Patrick. I think that they're going to be good. I think that they'll probably be better than we've seen in the last maybe year or two, but of them competing. But that's pretty much where it's at. Like I said, like the last 3 I think are a little bit easier to place than anything between 4th and fucking 9th, like that. Those places are tough. They're really tough. Mark, what about you?
You know where I stand on this.
No, I want to know. I want you to tell the people where you stand. Come on.
You never know. Derek could come and rise again, and he could surprise everyone.
I love
Mark, they're not smoke your plants before you come on this show.
I made this decision before I smoked
plants.
Before.
Maybe you should go.
Actually, after I smoked plants, the idea seems
go and smoke. Go and smoke. Get your head right, for God's sakes. Go on.
Don't use the Lord's name in vain now, Lee.
I can bring Derek all the way through. Derek's going to win.
So you got look. You've got Derek first.
This was before I seen all those Samson updates, and it's going to be difficult. Yeah. I don't think anybody's touching Samson.
You better be getting out your rosary beads and saying your prayers then very hard this week.
So if Andrew Jack is 100%, he could upset Samson.
Yeah.
He's got to be better than his 100%. He's got to be the best. He's got to be bigger and he has to be more conditioned.
You'd have to come out like Ronnie. You'd have to come out like Ronnie did in '98 and just blow everyone like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
Like
honestly, like
if he's
like
got
you
the
didn't see that coming type of thing. Like you'd be like, fuck, we didn't see that coming.
So do you think he's going to take second?
Who, jacked?
Yeah.
No, it's
okay.
Samson on my prediction, obviously, if I get Derek.
Okay.
But more realistically, Derek, I think. I have Derek in second.
Okay.
But in my official prediction, yeah, I foolishly predicted Derek first.
Well, as of now, we can go with now. I think that's acceptable. Who would you put in third?
We're just talking here.
Exactly. Nobody's listening.
Yeah, jacked. I got Jack. If Jack doesn't get at least third in here, he might as well just go home.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
You heard it here. Mark said
right.
if Jack doesn't get third, your career's over, mate. Just pack it up.
I've had people in my comments section saying things about not many, but I've had the odd one that would say, yeah, my prediction for this show is that Derek retires after he takes fourth place. I was like, holy fuck, like, that's a little much.
Well, people have been saying
he's one of the youngest guys.
Well, they've been saying that about Derek. They're saying this show could make or break him if he doesn't place too good. But then they're saying the same about Nick. When Nick comes back to do his show, if he doesn't win or do well, that might make or break Nick. So
they're in their 20s.
Mm-hmm.
You know
these guys can all still do well.
And Andrew Jack is what, 40?
Getting there.
Yeah, about that. We've got like we could have Samson, Andrew Jack, Brandon Curry, William Bonac, and Sean Clarita, who are either 40 or close to it. Samson's, I think, 38, 39. So almost all those guys could then go on to like the Masters Olympia.
That's true.
And all those names you
mentioned,
Brandon all the names you just mentioned, where do white people be?
Why did you have to say it like that?
6th to 10th is where they're at.
I'm just axing. I'm just axing, Xavier.
Where the white people be?
Where the white people be at? Shit, nigga.
They're at the lower end of the genetic predispositions. That's where.
Oh man,
6 to 10. That's it.
Shit, not one cracker in the top 5. Shit.
Wait, we only have one white person in this whole lot. Oh no, 2. James and Derek.
Yeah, shit, man, get them crackers in there. Yeah. If that cracker Derek wins, I'll get him some fried chicken after the show. Shit, man.
What's the stereotypes? Fried chicken and watermelon. Was that using it?
And some grape soda. Grape soda and some pixie sticks.
I've been getting grapes lately. Grapes are good.
No, the grape soda. And the sherbet pixie sticks, yeah.
Okay, Mark, give me your 4th and 5th.
I got Clarita in 4th.
No, of course he's black. Yeah, of course, yeah.
And who else do you got?
Well, this is what I want to know.
Brandon, William, James.
Let me guess.
I got Bonac after him.
Oh, another black one. Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's easy in this lineup. Bonac is looking good.
Are there any Asians in this show?
In Classic, yeah.
I got a request for Hidetada Yamagishi versus Lee Priest the other day.
Oh, Lee Priest wins that one.
I think Lee Priest
wins
that one.
Yeah. That's what I told him.
I think we've got an easy one there.
Yeah.
Because he's the Masters Olympia champion.
Hey, it's only that because I was injured and couldn't do it. If I wasn't injured, he wouldn't have had that title.
He had Irish Cairo.
2027.
28.
But I don't think there is one in 28. It's every other year. So we've got 25, 27, 29.
I'll do 29 then.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Could bump it back to 27.
No, I need those 2 years of stem cells and everything else.
Yeah. We need to get that sponsorship for you, Lee.
Yeah, just like everybody else. You can get Biolabs and then you can get Merit Health.
No, but then I'll add that other sponsor. What's the one my wife watches where those 2 cosmetic surgeons fix people up? Is it Botched or something?
Botched, yeah.
God, I don't know.
I'll be on that. I need chest implant here where it faded. Can you give me some tricep in here?
Tommy Morrison. Big fake breasts.
Hey, if women can do it to improve their physique, why can't me?
He actually went out and boxed with those things.
Yeah.
Tommy Morrison from Rocky V. Tommy Gunn.
He passed
Tommy
away.
Guns.
Really?
Yeah, he died.
He passed away from AIDS, didn't he?
You know whose nephew that is? John Wayne's.
Is it?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Mark with the facts.
Well, isn't John Wayne his last name Morrison? Marion Morrison.
It was a different name. Yeah, Marion or something. Yeah, Marion.
Yeah, no,
that's an underrated Rocky movie, man. That Rocky V, that was underrated. I think
it's because he never had a fight. He didn't fight in it. He never had an actual match.
He goes, sue me for what at the end?
Sue me for what? You know.
When he punched the manager guy.
Yeah, he punched Don King in the face.
Yeah.
Right?
That's the Rocky that everyone forgets about.
What's that?
Yeah.
That's the Rocky that everyone forgets about. I forget about it even.
Yeah, that had his son in it, his real son, Sage.
Sage. Yeah. He done killed himself too.
Yeah, he passed away, didn't he?
Was drug him and Tommy Morrison are both dead.
Yeah.
Holy shit. That one is underrated though, man. I always like that one. I like the fifth one. Well, I mean,
that's that's part 5.
Yeah, part 5 was really good. I thought
part 3 is the best. Mr. T beats him up.
You're right. You're right.
Remember when
hey woman.
I remember no one even knew who Mr. T was. It was always like,
no, that was his first time out.
It's like, did you see that new Rocky movie, The Black Guy with the Mohawk? That's what it was, The Black Guy with the Mohawk.
Yeah. That's the first time he said, I pity the fool.
Yeah, and then what, the A-Team come out after that, didn't it?
Yeah.
Really? No, I thought the A-Team was before that. I just assumed.
He was on some tough guy show where he was like a bouncer or something.
Yeah.
It was like some TV show that they were doing, and that's where they seen him, and they picked him up for Rocky 3. So Rocky 3 was like his first thing that he did. And
that's crazy. I didn't know that.
He was
good, man. Yeah. He could have been a bodybuilder. He definitely could have been a bodybuilder.
Little tall. Yeah. Well,
I think he
made the right decision though. He was in wrestling too. Eh? WrestleMania 1. He wrestled in WrestleMania 1. Him and Hulk Hogan were tag team.
That was my favorite Rocky for a long time.
Which one?
Until part 4.
Part 3 is my favorite. Part 3 is still my favorite.
I think part 4 was the best with the training montages and stuff.
The Russian. The Russian.
Yes.
Yeah. The sit-ups where he's like doing the sit-ups off like the ledge bit in the montage, and he's just like, or he's getting his stomach hit or something. I can't remember, but
he climbs the mountain.
Dolph Lundgren's on the mechanical running machine, getting injection in the shoulder. Stallone's running up the snow hill.
Where do you think he got that from? He got it from Stallone. I heard he went to Australia and got it from Lee Priest.
That's just and he's doing his military presses while fucking Rocky's pushing up the horse cart.
Yeah, you had Adrian there, and
Stallone completely natural till he strips off in the ring, and then it's like, oh shit, probably not.
Was even bigger
ripped to
Rambo
death.
3.
He was more ripped in 4 than I think he was any of them. I think 4 was his most ripped.
Was it Rambo? Was it Rambo 3? He was his most ripped. Was that the one where he's putting his headband on? Had the poster from the rear. Putting the headband on.
I did a video with all his different physiques placed like side by side, and
really?
I think personally, I think Rambo 3 was his best.
There's a picture holding the bow, and he's got his lat flared out, holding the compound bow.
I love the Rambo movies.
Oh fuck yeah, man!
I have a hard time watching them nowadays.
Really?
Yeah,
I haven't watched them in so long, but I just remember as a kid like loving them.
I love them too.
I used to drink heavy, like seriously. I was alcoholic, and I would watch the same 6 movies every single night.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
And I can't watch any of those movies anymore, and it's a shame.
That's understood though,
because of
it's like certain music. I used to put these same songs on.
I didn't mind the last one where he came home. It was pretty graphic with the cartel. You haven't seen that one? The last one? Yeah, it's pretty good.
There was part 4, I remember.
Yeah,
he had Rambo Last Blood was the last one.
People come out. Part 4 was pretty graphic.
He made the knife out of a piece of rebar.
Yeah, and he was like helping helping that girl get those missionaries back, or wasn't he in part 4? But yeah, but the last one where he comes home and they kidnap his is it
dad?
No, his granddaughter or someone, isn't it? Someone related.
Yeah.
And they kill her, and spoiler alert, they kill her. So he goes after.
I probably won't watch it anyway.
He goes after. You got to watch it if you're seeing all the others. You got to watch it just for because he really lays into him. He gives it to him pretty good. Sets up traps around the farm.
It was good. Yeah, that one was good.
Hey, Mark, can you not watch it because it's like negative association? Like it takes you back to that time?
I don't know, man. I just like wrestling. I used to watch wrestling every single move, everything. But it's like if I watch wrestling now, if a guy hits his back of his head against the mat, I'm like, I can't watch it. I can't do it. I can't watch it.
I struggle to watch deadlifting.
I get like that with Days of Our Lives. If I see it come on, I start watching it, but then it makes me feel sad. So I'm like, I used to watch this with my grandmother, and it takes me back to my grandmother's house where she's doing the housework and cooking lunch, and I can almost smell the food. It's like they're nice memories, but then it's sad because it takes you back to those times when you just when you're a kid, it seems like life was so much easier and there's no stress and that. So sometimes when I see those things come on, I get all upset and depressed. Like even Rocky. That's when I started training at 13 in my garage. It takes me back to those days. I'm like, and you had your mates around. I'm like, as good as it's nice to remember, then I get all upset and I stop watching it because it's making me think of other shit that was happening in that time in my life. So
I get that.
I get all upset. I'm like, fuck it, I'm not watching it anymore. So I got to try and get it out of my head. I got to watch something new to get it out of my head then, so I don't think about it.
Distract
yourself. I used to watch that show. Stefano, John Black.
Oh, yes, Marlene there. And
John Black, he'd always look off into the distance. That was his only move that he did.
Patch, remember, Patch would always come back. And Steve, remember Steve? Patch, he had the patch on his eyes.
Oh, Steve. Yeah, I know Patch. Patch was like, he looked like, pirate.
Samantha Brady. I even get upset because what's his name? John Black just passed away a couple of months ago from cancer. Yeah, and there was like a couple of years ago when Stefano died in real life, and then they incorporated it into the show. They have like a funeral on the show, and I get all upset watching it because I'm thinking, I grew up watching him. It's almost like someone in your life has passed away that you grew up with because you watched them all these years. It's like, oh, John Black's really dead. Oh.
What about Marlene?
Did they try to act badly? Like in terms of the acting, it was so poor. Like sometimes something would happen, and I'd be like, it's like, no one actually does that. No one goes.
They ask him a question, like Mark said, they just have that stare, then it goes to commercial.
John Black there. Until next time.
And
like Sam through the hourglass.
So
I'm McDonald Carey, and these are the days of our lives.
I used to get a kick out of a woman would be pregnant. She'd have a baby. They'd bring the baby. Next season, he was a toddler, and by the third season, the kid's married. And
I always laugh about that because you'd have Bo and Hope. They have their kids. By the end of the year, the kids are 18, but Bo and Hope still look the same age as the parents.
It was a new Bo, though. It was a new Bo and a new Hope. But then they brought the original Hope. Or no, it was a new Billy. They brought the new Billy back.
But Bo and Hope are back in it again. Like I said, the kids are like 25 now, but Bo and Hope are still the same age.
It's only been 3 years.
Holy fuck.
Good Lord.
Oh, man, I was actually legit upset when Rich Piano passed away. I was upset, man. If you watch a lot of people's stuff, I was dedicated to that Bigger by the Day series. And then he was doing the Better by the Day thing. Like this was when there was a lot less bodybuilding media out there. Like Rich was a pioneer with what he was doing, man. And everybody was watching his shit, I mean, he was and he hit every nail on the head, He was larger than life, but he was like, fuck it, I'm getting bigger, It was nuts, man. And it seemed so sudden, even though it obviously wasn't going to be unexpected. It still was like,
it's 300 pounds.
That sucks. Well,
I used to see him on Rick Dreisen, if you guys remember him.
I liked Rick's channel. He's
those were good. Those were good videos.
That's the first time I seen Piano. I think it was Rick Dreisen had him on there.
Yeah,
he had.
He's the guy who designed the gold gym logo.
Yes, exactly. Joe Gold's gym. Yeah, he drew it on a little napkin thing.
Yeah, and they used to
actually do. He used to do drawings, I think, of the logo or other stuff with it, and you could get them as presents for people. And I actually wanted to do that, and it was about to do it, and then then he passed away, and I was like, oh, that's
I know. I always wanted to talk to him and like communicate with him because he was a wrestler.
Yeah.
He wrestled.
Well, we could have a seance.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
You could have a seance and try to talk to him.
Well, I tried that, but man, there's already too many ghosts around these parts.
I hate to run, but I got to go pick up the wife. Then I got to go get the Hummer service, get all the oils changed.
Yeah. You know what? This is. I think we'll call it there anyway. We'll.
And then I'm looking around this office, thinking I got to fucking pack up because I got to pick up the keys to the new place on Friday. But yet, haven't done one bit of packing yet. So I'm just looking around, going, oh, where do you start when you're moving house?
Pictures on the wall.
Yeah, you got a decent amount of office too.
Yeah.
I know.
So when do you move?
I get the keys Friday, so I'm gonna start just doing maybe taking clothes out of these cupboards, move them to the clothes in the cupboard up there. It's only like a 15-minute drive, and then come just do all the small shit, and then get a remover to come take everything else. But even just the small shit, it's like you don't realize how much small shit you have till you start pulling it out of cupboards and putting it in boxes, and you're like, why the fuck am I keeping this shit? I haven't seen it for over 3 years. I'm just going to toss it out. I'm just going to be hard and go, you know what? As much as I like keeping shit, if I haven't touched it or used it in a year or two, that's getting fucking thrown out.
That's right.
Clothes. I got old clothes that I won't throw away.
I got clothes I haven't worn in years. I'm like, why do I keep them? It's like, but I like that shirt. I remember when I got it, it was like, I haven't worn it for 3 years. Fucking get rid of it. Let's just toss it out.
Sign them and sell them.
Take a picture of it and then hang the picture up.
Yeah, I used to do that. I used to sign shirts and sell them, and people would buy them.
Yeah, do it.
I should send you one of my company shirts, one of my diving shirts. I should do that.
Yeah.
Will you sign my Hulk shirt?
I saw that. Yes, I was talking to a guy yesterday, and he's like, "Oh, we watched the Hulk the other night," and he didn't realize. I said, "You know, I did the body work for the first one." He's like, "Really?" He goes, and his son was there. He's like, "Wow, we didn't know that." I said, yeah.
That's cool.
That is cool. Well, listen, do your thing, man, and we'll catch up. We'll catch up after the show and after the move.
Hey, Kenson, what are your other predictions? Stay on.
What?
Stay on. I need your other predictions. I need my whole list.
Derek's getting place.
Look, I don't have anything later, man. I don't have anything past the top 5. I can't make decisions like that. I just what?
Xavier Wills
I can't decide.
Like top 10.
I know, and he's a machine, but I can't do it. I can't. I don't know. There's too many I just can't pick. I can't pick between 6th and 10th. It's the only time when I'm like, man, I just don't know. I just don't know. I can't pick.
I'm disappointed. I put it all on the line. I've made Carlos and Akeem hate me.
Everybody on the internet hates me for picking Derek.
Yeah.
Made fun of me.
All right. Look, for you.
Kind of cool when you think about it.
For you, Xavier, I'll do it, okay?
Okay, good.
No, I'll do it. Okay. 6th place. I guess I should probably lock down 5th. Fuck's sakes.
Didn't you?
Well, kinda.
I'm listening. I just need to quickly go do something for 30 seconds, but I'm listening to your predictions.
Okay. You assume I'm going to have something out in 30 seconds. 30
seconds is a long time.
Yeah, well, you're relative. In 5th, I Clarita 5th. James 6th. Yeah, I'm going to say James in 6th. Yeah. Bonac in 7th. I know. I'm going to have Bonac in 7th. I'm going to have Akeem in 8th. Exactly.
I think that's a local thing.
Yeah, I think it was too. Yeah, at Hakeem Optical probably was.
Vogue. Remember Vogue Optical?
Yeah, there's still Vogue Opticals around.
Don't you remember the jingle though?
Yeah, your second pair is free.
Vogue Optical, bum 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 bum. Your second pair is free. Vogue Optical. We double the price on the first pair, but then we give you a free pair for the second one. Do.
Yeah,
I'm
they
buying
stopped
some new
that
glasses actually. And they have the same thing.
Okay.
Buy one pair, get one free. It's like first pair's $350.
What does that mean? Buy one, get one free.
Well, like buy one pair of glasses, the next one's free. The cheaper one's free, of course.
See, I can't have Brandon. I'm struggling here. Okay. Samson, Andrew. I'm sticking with Carlos. And then I'm going to have in 4th, Derek. Fifth, I'm gonna put Sean. Sixth, I'm gonna put Brandon. Seventh,
William?
No. Seventh, I'm gonna say James. Fucking hell.
William is dropping from his
You
Olympia
just said
place.
James was in fifth.
Well, I forgot about Brandon. I forgot about Brandon. I mean,
baby.
Yeah, exactly. Brandon fifth, James in sixth, Bonac in seventh. No, Akeem in seventh, Bonac in eighth.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know.
Bonac
And then
hater. I just want to say that.
Hater.
Whatever. I've been called worse today. Okay. And
I'm
then
Akeem
Patrick.
Carlos
And
hater,
then
apparently.
yeah, I'm putting Patrick in ninth, and then I'm putting Justin in 10th. That's where I'm at with it.
Justin's gonna knock
Patrick in 11th.
No, Patrick in ninth.
He might intimidate the judges, though. Do you guys ever think about that?
There's 11 guys total. Not
Patrick up there looking at the judges.
Well, I've got Samson, Andrew, Carlos, Derek, Brandon. Then I've got James, Akeem, Bonac, Patrick, and John. That's only 10.
I've got Samson, Derek, and Samson in first, Derek, Andrew third, Brandon fourth, William fifth, James sixth, Clarita seventh, Carlos eighth, Akeem ninth, Patrick 10th, Justin 11th.
Oh, well, who am I missing then?
I don't know. I feel like you said all their names, which is tripping me out.
Colossus Ken's not competing at this event.
No. He's doing
which
New York, and then the Legion.
Detroit. He's doing Detroit, right?
Is he doing Detroit?
No,
sure.
he's doing New York.
And Legion, I think. Or Cali. Yeah. No, is it Cali? Is it Cali or Legion?
New York.
Legion.
No, it's Legion.
He's going up against Tonio.
Yeah, fuck Cali.
Yeah, Cali's right before
yeah.
Legion. It goes New York, Cali, then Legion.
Samson, Andrew. Okay, Samson, Andrew, Carlos.
There's Akeem, or did you say Akeem?
Yeah. Samson, Andrew, Carlos, and then in fourth I've got Derek, and then fifth is
Derek. Did you want to borrow my thing back there?
No, I've got it right here. Sean, Brandon, James, Bonac, Akeem, Patrick, Justin. There.
Yeah.
Sounds solid.
We've got
No,
the same,
it doesn't.
We've got the same bottom three. Akeem, Patrick, Justin. Yeah.
Everything else is so far up. Everybody's predictions everywhere are all over the place. It's part of what makes this a really good show.
Yeah, I love it. It actually stresses me out with my predictions, though, because I know people are going to watch it when I put mine out, and they're going to be like, "Oh, well, motherfucker." Oh, yeah.
They're just
you don't have to listen to those people.
What do you smoke crack?
To them.
Yeah. I've been smoking crack.
Whatever, man. The predictions are part of the conversation, and this is what we're doing. I mean, this is why we're here. We're having the conversation of bodybuilding. It's literally the entire existence of our channels, you know? Yeah, it is, man. It is fun. I always had fun doing predictions, you know? Back, me, Mark, and Sanch started out. I remember the first predictions video I did was for the Arnold Brazil. I was in a hotel doing oil spill response training, and I did I did the predictions. We did the rundown with Sanch on his channel. I mean,
that's true.
Yeah.
It's fun, man. It's fun. So
what was that bodybuilder's name there? You really liked him? Big tall.
Nikolka?
No. He's kind of a no-name guy.
Oh, yeah.
Very well.
Ron Gordon.
No, not Ron Gordon. I think this
Joseph Vetten.
Joseph Zveten or whatever his name is. Yeah.
Yes, Joseph Vetten. Yes, he's still pretty big.
Yep. No, he competed again. He didn't do too bad. New York.
I created a list recently of 50 bodybuilders that could qualify for the Olympia this year. It is crazy how deep bodybuilding is now. Like, and I was still thinking of names afterwards. I'm like,
Because it's a transitional period too, right? You still have your Bonacks, your Currys that are still dangerous, and
yeah, exactly.
Guys like Hunter Labrada, who should be in their prime right now, but he hasn't really been moving the meter, if you know what I'm saying.
He hasn't.
Listen to this list of names: Carlos Thomas Jr., Sergio Oliva Jr., Quentin Araya, William Bonac, Brandon Curry, Samson Dowder, Derek Lunsford, Hunter Labrada, Nick Walker, Hardy Chupin, Tonio Burton, Stuart Sutherland, Antoine Valiant, James Hollingshead, Akeem Williams, Andrew Jack, Patrick Moore, Jordan Hutchinson, Nathan Epler, Kennedy Anyanwu, which is Colossus Ken, Horse MD, Ron Gordon, Seth Verosi, Nathan Diasha, Martin Fitzwater, Brett Wilkin, Big Rami, if he competes, Nexzilla, Rubio Mosquera, Mikel
Take him off the list.
Oh, no, for Rubio, no.
Take him off the list.
Why is that? Are you guys Rubio haters?
Kai, might as well throw Kai Green on there if you're going to put
the guy said he would do 5 shows last year.
Yeah, I know.
Said he would do 5.
Blessing, Mark Hector, Charles Griffin, Raphael Brandow, Justin Shire, Morgan McDonald. Mark Hector's good, man.
Yeah, I know, but he hasn't moved the scale either.
I like more.
He got third in his
Morgan
comeback show. We got Raphael Brandow, Justin Shire, I said those, Hassan Mustafa, Good Vito, Theo Legelier, Roman Fritz, Ross Flanagan, Regan Grimes, Andrea Presti, Mo Foda, Bruno Santos, John De La Rosa, John Jewett, and I still had more names after that.
Hassan Mustafa. Soggy glutes, Hassan?
Yeah. But I mean, he's got to the Olympia in recent
Mass
years,
Monster Hassan. Biggest motherfucker ever, Hassan.
I thought he was going to be Mr. Olympia.
Yeah.
I was hopeful. I really was. He was. Man, he's still. I mean, I don't know if he's going to compete this year.
Give up. Like Patrick Moore, I've given up. You give up hope.
That's
you do after a while.
Yeah, you do.
After a while.
He made the Olympia 2 years ago, no?
Who's that, Hassan?
Yeah.
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 A couple years.
2023.
Yeah.
But there's a bunch of guys, man. Like all of these guys are top 5 guys in shows. And I think like spreading this out over the entire bodybuilding season, we're going to see like a really. Yeah, Quentin's there.
Did you get Quentin? Okay.
Is there anyone else you guys can think of?
I was thinking of Brett Wilkin.
I don't know.
When you said Brett Wilkin, I'm like, oh, okay, all right. I was gonna.
Well, you said Morgan. What about Robin? Robin Strand.
IFBB Pro Robin Strand.
I'm talking about guys that I think will get to the Olympia. Now, I like Robin and stuff, and Robin's got 3rd in the show before, but he got 3rd, and then the next weekend he got like 14th. And I'm like,
he's a lot better.
If he's a contest winner, but he is big as shit as well. So I'm going to add Robin.
Robin is huge right now. He's massive.
What about Regan Grimes?
I've got Regan. Yeah, I've got Regan in there. Where is he?
Okay. Yeah.
Just making sure.
But there could be guys that, I'm missing that are like that. And I don't, because I want to do a video on this. But
Rolly Winkler?
I don't have Rolly on there, but he could.
No. Now, Mark's just getting ridiculous.
No, but he is looking in good shape lately, though, I will say.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
But I don't want to see him compete. I want to see him healthy.
What about Carlos? You got Carlos on that list?
He was my first on that list, yeah.
First?
Damn right he was.
Not first.
What about
first guy I thought of?
The Cyclops there. I think he's going to win a show at some point.
Who's the Cyclops?
You know.
Horse MD?
Cyclops. No,
not Horse MD. No, I don't think he can win yet.
About Lewis Breed.
Oh, Lewis Breed. Do I have him?
No, nobody does. Nobody has him on the radar, but I think he's been consistently getting better. I like Lewis.
I don't have the Breed. Madigan.
I don't think I'd put him on that list yet. I don't think so.
I know, but and there was the 2 guys at the Texas there.
Yeah, I've got both of them, Jordan Hutchinson and Nathan Epler. I've got them side by side, one after the other. Jordan Hutchinson is looking crazy big right now. I think we're going to see him win a pro show this year or next, 100%.
And there's 2
next
12 guys too that could jump up. You know.
Yeah. For sure.
Possible.
You've got Angel Calderons, you've got your Kerrick Badgers.
Bo Lewis could jump up.
Bo should.
Yes.
Bo Lewis?
Yeah. Bo Lewis could jump up. I don't think he will, but I think he could.
Doesn't seem like he will. It's like
he didn't.
He knows he probably should, but I don't think he's ever gonna.
He's got the best voice in the business outside of Marx Max Muscle.
You know who's got the
True.
deepest voice? Marx Max's favorite bodybuilder, Robbie Robinson.
Does he?
Oh,
man,
his voice now. Even deeper than mine. I can't even do it that deep. Andre the
Giant.
Yeah.
No,
it's thick. That's why he's my favorite bodybuilder.
I never noticed.
And
Robbie Robinson seems like he's gone off the deep end mentally or something. I don't know.
Well, when you're 80 years old and you can talk on the mic, can you imagine how bitter we're going to be when we're old?
Not as bitter as Robbie
What do you
Robinson.
mean? No, I will be.
I'm 43
pleasant.
and I'm already starting to bitter up.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Commercials, anything like that. I hate everything.
No.
You need some testosterone replacement, but you can be angry and
No.
Then you get an excuse. All right.
Look, wait
gentlemen.
Wait till I'm 50.
Well, you're not there yet, but we'll celebrate your 50th on this show.
Yes.
We'll see. Okay, look, that's it. I gotta shut this one down. Thank you very much, as always, gentlemen, and I will catch you guys on the next one.
Sounds good.